Okay, so now we are on to your top 10 movies of 2011.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here because they wanted me here and they didn't pay me. So I'm waiting for some remuneration.
Yeah, right.
Because
I'm trying to talk him into doing a husband and wife movie review show, kind of like Siskel and Ebert, only it's going to be Fallars and Fallars. And we're going to have, like, maybe some,
well, Fallars sounds good, but it should be like Ihor and Helen.
Helen's my middle name, so. Okay, anyway, on to your list.
On to my list.
On to your list.
Well, I might as well start off by saying that this is, Monday, January 2nd, and it's, a very cold day, but it'll soon get warmer because we're going to go back in time, and we're going to go through the 10 best movies of the year, as viewed by me personally.
Okay.
And
good.
some of you were, part of the audience with me.
Yes, I was.
And we will mention that when we mention a movie.
Okay.
But these are movies that stood head and shoulders above, all the rest. There was other ones, but these ones are, the best that, I have viewed. And we'll start off with, since everyone likes numerics, we'll start off with number 10.
Uh-huh.
And number 10 on the list is a movie by Terrence Davies called A Deep Blue Sea. And it stars Rachel Weisz as, a woman who's like lonely and gets involved with this Air Force pilot. And the tribulations of, of getting together with this guy proves to be too much. Because he leaves her and she suffers through loneliness and all this other stuff, and it was a very moving display by her, as well as the movie itself, a very good movie by a great British director named Terrence Davies.
And you saw this at TIFF?
I saw this at TIFF at the beautiful Isabel Bader Theater.
Uh-huh.
And it was a really good experience. Based on a play by Terrence Rattigan. So
Deep Blue
all
Sea.
you cinephiles out there, keep an eye for it because it's worth seeing.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now moving on.
Moving on, number 9 is a French movie that my wife and I saw at TIFF called Outside Satan.
Ah, yes.
I won't bother with the French pronunciation because, probably not too many people out there are French.
Oh, you never know. There might be some French people viewing this.
Anyways, this is a movie made by Bruno Dumont, who made the outstanding Hater-Witch that we saw a couple of years ago.
One of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yes, I have to concur. One of the best French movies ever. This one's a little bit different. Concerns I guess a drifter in the countryside of France who gets involved in an incident where he ends up shooting the girls. There's this girl that he meets, father, who is allegedly beating on her, and so they end up kind of hanging out in the woods, not really doing much of anything except wandering around, looking in the sky. Long gazes into nowhere,
which is very characteristic of all his movies.
Right.
All his characters just kind of stare into space, wander around aimlessly, seemingly aimlessly, and don't really do much.
Right, but beneath all all these non-seeming things that happen, this movie is directed by someone who knows how to make movies.
Bruno Dumont. Yeah, he's great master.
I've seen a few of his other movies, and there's always the main theme in this one, as far as I can see, as long as and also the other ones that he's made, is religion, and religion plays a big part in this movie because these people are looking for something. They're looking for guidance. They're looking for something because they're wandering around, and and I guess she kind of follows him because she thinks that he may be a godlike figure.
Right.
Maybe. It's never really clear, but I think that's how it goes. But this is a so it's actually a very good movie. However, it's a little bit too long. And
a lot of people might find it boring if they're not used to watching.
There's not much action.
Yeah.
Very little dialogue. It's filmed exquisitely, but it's something you should see because it's a lot different than a lot of movies out there.
If you're a foreign film fan, you'll probably love it.
Yeah. If you're a Bruno Dumont fan, is a must see because
right.
anything he makes is going to be good. So chimed in at number 9 on my list. It's hard to pick a top 10 list, but this one had to be in there, even though it wasn't as good as effort as his previous work, Haderwich.
All right.
Moving on to number 8, as I scan my list, has to be a Greek movie called, or sorry, not Greek, Turkish movie called Once Upon a Time in Anatolia, made by probably the best Turkish director now and probably ever. A guy, unless you're familiar with Turkish cinema or foreign cinema, and probably nobody's ever heard of this guy. But
guess he was coming to.
I guess she's interested in my list. But,
yeah, right.
This is a police drama, basically a whodunit, with lots of not much action, but very good dialogue, very good script. A very, very underrated film. It's quite long, but it's rather enjoyable if you can stand the pace, which is like very, very slow. But it's actually worth it, even though I have to say I can never figure out the ending and who the people are who
So what's the plot of this movie?
They find this dead body in the middle of nowhere, and all these cops converge, and they just start talking like innocuous, like nothing to do with the crime. Like very few things are like said about the crime. They just kind of like sit there, asking if you're hungry, or where's the donuts, or it's cold out, or. But every once in a while they'll ask some pertinent question, and that's how the movie goes. Like more than half the movie is in this out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Where they all converge. It's in the middle of the night. The second half, moves from the countryside to more inside buildings and offices and all that. But that's well worth seeing. It's something a little bit different than what most people will see.
All right.
I know I said that about Outside Satan, but check it out if you can stand a slow-paced movie. And I'm believe me, it's slow, but well worth it.
Okay. So number 7.
Number 7 is another movie that I saw, a tip called The Hunter with William Dafoe, where he is paid. He works for this mega corporation. I guess I don't know if it's a European conglomerate or someplace in the States where he gets paid lots of money to go hunt this endangered tiger, which there's only supposedly one left, and the people in this corporation got wind from somebody else that there's only one left and it's been spotted, but but it hasn't been seen for like many, many years. So they sent a William Dafoe to hunt for this tiger and bring it back. But once he gets there, the townspeople don't take kindly to him because he's a foreigner. And as soon as they find out what he's doing, he kind of gets the cold shoulder treatment from the locals, and he gets involved with this family, which he stays with, and then he goes out, tries to look for the hunter, but he begins to have a battle with his conscience, and why he's there, what he's doing, and is it worth it?
So what is it about this movie that made it so exceptional?
Well, first of all, Willem Dafoe was really good in this, but what really makes it exceptional is it takes place in, I think,
Sri Lanka or something?
No, it's not Sri Lanka. It's in Australia somewhere.
Okay.
Or New Zealand, somewhere out there. I mean, the countryside in this movie is great. But just the story about a guy going after, an endangered tiger, one of its kind, the only one left on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And someone who's, usually, when you see a movie where somebody battling their conscience, usually, has to deal with humans. Well, this is man against nature.
Uh-huh.
And it's a really good performance by not only Willem Dafoe, but the story is just, it's actually quite gripping when you see him going around and looking for this tiger, and you know that he's battling not only the terrain, but he's also battling his conscience, he's battling the locals, and he's battling all sorts of other things in his mind. But it's a kind of a small movie that I've only seen in the film festival. I don't think it might end up a video, but it's well worth seeing also.
There's countless movies like that at the film festival that you see, and you're probably never going to see again, but that really blow you away. And that's sad because these movies deserve to be seen by large audiences, and they rarely do, a lot of them. Right. So. And
the only way you might catch it is at your local video store, which is actually good now because Blockbuster has shut its doors. So
thank God.
All you cinephiles out there, go to Queen Video or Suspect or 2Q Video or a place like that because you never know, these movies pop up there. They don't specialize much in Hollywood stuff. So you'll find stuff that you very rarely will find anywhere else. So keep an eye out for The Hunter.
All right.
It'll be good.
Number 6.
Number 6 is a movie that not only played a tip but also had a commercial release and starred none other than Mr. Intensity himself, Mr. Michael Shannon.
Ah, yes.
Who play movies Take Shelter and wow, as you put it, it's about the financial meltdown.
Right. That's
States.
yeah.
Basically, this guy builds a shed because
he has all these visions.
Visions of an apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
And he becomes so consumed with this, this impending arrival of the apocalypse that he loses all semblance of order.
And at the same time, he's not sure whether he's just not going insane because he has mental illness in his family.
But I mean, this movie is not just about some guy going nuts. This guy's actually, believes, what he's apparently seeing.
Right.
And he's doing it in the best interest of his family.
Right.
It's not just,
exactly.
This guy just blows his mind up and goes on a bender. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's obviously has some issues, but it's a movie that'll blow you away. Basically.
And it's the movie I think that's going to break him into the mainstream because for sure, guaranteed he is going to get an Oscar nomination for his role in this movie. He was amazing in this movie.
Yeah, he's not a household name, but
no, but
with performances like this,
he may become one soon.
I mean,
so.
He's a very intense actor, and he's very good. But Take Shelter is also made by the same guy who made Shotgun Stories, of which Michael Shannon was in.
Right.
Which I happened to see, and probably not as good as this one, but still worth seeing. So Take Shelter is definitely got to be up there because it's kind of a movie that hits close to home now for a lot of people.
Yep. Number 5.
Number 5 is a movie that we saw earlier in 2011. We went to see it at Mount Pleasant. Another Mike Leigh magnus opus.
Yeah.
Called Another Year. I mean, what else can you say about Mike Leigh?
Oh crap. It's okay. Let it ring.
Mike Leigh is. I mean, him and Ken Loach got to be the two best. British directors. I mean, these guys, they focus on, the British working class and the everyday struggles of, the people who, try to exist in England. And, I mean, the dialogue, the actors, I mean, the story is, it's pretty, simple, but, I mean, you watch this and you just, you keep watching and watching. It's not even boring.
It's like I love Mike Leigh's movies are great because it's like you're standing there in the house with all these people, just listening to these conversations that they have. And supposedly, all of Mike Leigh's movies are unscripted. They're ad-libbed or whatever. They don't have a written script. The actors just kind of improvise. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, if that's the case.
It's kind of hard to believe because I mean the dialogue is so spot on.
Yeah.
I don't know how these guys can come up with this stuff.
And it's real.
Right. It's very real. Very real.
It's not I mean, obviously, it may be scripted. We don't know, but
yeah.
Just an outstanding movie. I mean, he's made a lot of other good ones, but this one here,
very human.
I think this one really kind of is at the top of the list.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As far as I'm
definitely,
concerned,
yep. Excellent
it'd be in
movie.
your best interest to see this if you're a Mike Leigh fan. If not, then check it out anyway because you might like it.
Yeah, I think everybody will like it.
Moving on to the quest for number 1.
What number are we at now? 5?
Number 4. Number 4 is another movie at the film festival which I saw was La Havre, which is another humanist kind of film dealing with illegal immigration and all that stuff. Basically, I think it's Aki Kaurismäki who's the director. He's very well known for his droll comedies,
quirky
and quirky characters. But this is a little bit different. This one is a little more serious. It's probably the most human movie you're going to see this year. I mean, the story is something that people can relate to, especially now with stuff going on in Europe where people being deported. I mean, this guy he was basically a down and out shoe shine person who just shines shoes for everybody, but he ends up coming across a black boy who is hiding from the local immigration authorities. So he takes him in and takes care of him and make sure he doesn't get into trouble or gets caught. But the local constabulary finds out, and there's like a duel between him and the policeman to thing. But the guy, the policeman is very soft-hearted, so he kind of lets it all go. And
Right. So this is a drama. This isn't like a.
But it's still got some droll elements. It's there's a little bit of humor, but
Right.
I mean, Akira's Maki. I mean, you might not like this guy and his style movies, but this movie is it's great. It's one of the best pictures in Chicago Film Festival. For all you festival guys out there.
All right. Okay.
Very good movie. Glad to see it because number 3 is...
Aren't we at number 4?
That was number 4, Le Havre.
Okay.
Number 3 is a movie that will blow you away. From Austria.
Oh.
Michael.
Michael, yeah.
If you didn't know any better, you would think this would be a Michael Haneke movie because it was made by a protege of his.
Yeah, the guy who made it was his director for I don't know, writer or something. I don't know, somebody who's affiliated with him.
His assistant. Yeah. Forget the guy's name, but anyways, this movie is possibly the best movie about pedophilia you'll ever see.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie about pedophilia before, but I mean,
there's happiness.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that was done in a totally different way, though. That was like kind of dark humor.
The running thing about pedophilia is in there, right? But,
right.
This one here is a more detached version.
Right.
Where they just give you the facts, the story.
Very objective.
Objective, and just shows you that your next door neighbor could be
Exactly. It shows how pedophiles are ordinary people. Like you could be the person next door to you you'd never suspect. Like the guy who's in this movie is he's an insurance agent, has a perfectly normal life on the surface, but in reality, when he goes home at night, he's got a little boy in his basement who he abuses, and he's kept him there for years, and it just kind of shows you like the mindset of these people, how they do what they do and stuff like that. And
right, but this movie is it'll blow you away. It's
right,
so,
and there's
cool.
Yeah.
Cool might not be the right word, but the way it's done.
Right.
It's
very
fantastic.
tasteful. Very tasteful. No graphic. No sex or anything like that. They don't show you him abusing the boy or anything like that. It's all just kind of suggested, but you know what's going on.
Right, and
and it's got an amazing ending that you would never ever guess, and it's just brilliant.
You couldn't even think of an ending like this.
No.
But it's an Austrian movie, and I've seen my share of Austrian movies, and I've yet to see a bad one.
Yeah, I know. The Austrians are amazing, man.
Of Austrian movies, and I imagine you're going to see some more later on. But this one here has got to be right on top of the list of 2011.
And this was this guy's first movie, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it was amazing, fucking amazing.
I think of the guy's name, Magnus something.
Yeah.
Anyways, it'll probably come to when I'm talking about some other movie. But
right.
Anyways, that was number 3 on my list. Now we're getting into the top 2. The number 2 film. I mean. Like I said earlier, a lot of these movies that in 2000s I've seen are very human. This one is no different, and made by Xavier Beauvais, a French director, who the title of this movie is Gods and Men, and it's a true story about Trappist monks who provide help.
Hello.
Stop!
Our movie show got interrupted by interlopers. But anyways,
you have to delete it.
Forget it.
Gods and Men, watch out for this movie because it's just an awesome experience. Based on a true story. Check it out in the theater if you can. If it comes on video, great. But it's one of the more human movies you'll ever see.
Yeah, it was
one of the best of 2011. But it's definitely it's got to be one of the best.
So year. Briefly, what's it about? It's about
Trappist monks in Tibet who are stationed in this little town, and they're monks who look after people with sicknesses or whoever needs help, but just outside of their little town, there's a war going on. There's people getting killed.
They're being threatened by everybody, harassed,
local, militia there.
Right.
Who kept, who think they're up to, some no good, but these guys are just like, monks who, their only goal in life is to help people and then, do the work of God. And they got to go through some crap along the way. But unfortunately, the movie is great, but it's a tragedy. So I mean, I'm not going to spoil it.
And it is a true story.
It's a true story that happened in the 90s.
Right.
And again, a very, very, very human movie that will just leave you breathless. Did me anyway.
Yep. I loved it too. It's a very good movie.
And the last movie of the list, number one, just a movie that we saw just recently, a couple of months ago at the European Film Festival, which usually produces, some outstanding movies.
Right. And they're all free, you guys. In Toronto, every year they have something called the European Film Festival, and they show it in Little Italy at the Royal Theatre. All the movies are free. You just got to go there and get in line and get your ticket. And they show some amazing stuff.
If you want to check out the movies, they come out there, check out their website. But the movie we saw this year was Joanna, which was just a mind-blowing movie about a woman who just helps this little girl out who hides out from the Gestapo. Because
this is in World War II era Poland.
And she hides them up. She hides this girl in her apartment who's only about 5. And after some period of time, she begins to just
her life just completely deteriorates. Right, but she refuses to abandon this kid. She protects her to the end.
Exactly, and it's almost like mother and daughter here, because her mother, probably chances are she's never going to see her mother again.
Right.
She's probably going to end up in a concentration camp somewhere, and but a very, very, very just
moving.
That came out of nowhere.
Yep.
Because I mean, I've never even heard of it. But anyways, you'll probably never get to see it because I mean, chances of this movie ever getting released anywhere.
Look for it in your video stores, in your DVD stores.
That's from Poland, but
right.
It's and then here's another movie that the ending of this movie is just wow. I'm still shaking my head when I talk about it.
Right.
It's up for interpretation, but it's pretty much up to your own personal decision on how this movie's gonna end. But
but the lead actress in that movie too was so great. I can't remember her name, but whoever she was great actress.
It was a movie from Poland.
Yep.
They usually not too many. You don't see too many Polish movies, but this is a good one. And that's my top 10.
So do you have any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions are movies like The Turin Horse by Bela Tarr, for all you Bela Tarr fans. Another apocalyptic journey into nowhere.
Right.
But we're seeing The First Man from Italy, which I saw TIFF, which was very, very good. Moneyball with Brad Pitt. I mean, with Brad Pitt, can any movie be bad? Probably not.
Well, what's it called? Was that Coen Brothers one was bad that he was in? What was that one? That really weird one?
Inception?
No, that's Leonardo.